Karibu sana Kandi. She can come through the back. Hi ladies, you're well? Good to see you.
Do you want to move them to here or what?
It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay. So you're ready? We can sit? Okay. Okay. Claire, open and take the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly let's be ready as Waziri just tries to sit in and we are about to just start. Members of the First Estate, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We are so glad that we are about to just kickstart this main agenda from Executive Office of the President, Karibu Waziri. Thank you very much.
All right. Good morning, everybody. All protocols observed. I want us, before we begin, to all rise up for a moment of silence for our fallen sisters, daughters, and mothers. Just 1 minute. Thank you. You may have your seats. All right, so members of the Fourth Estate, women's rights defenders, women from all walks of lives, karibuni sana. I just want to, before we continue, the reason we're here today is because there's been incidences in the country that affect women and girls and women and children, and the Executive Office of the Women's Rights Advisor is here today because we represent your voice within the Executive Office of the President. I want to mention the names, some of the names of women who have fallen before Waziri reads the statement. So we remember Starlet Wahu, we remember Rita Waeni, we remember the woman who was beheaded just yesterday in Homa Bay. We remember there's a woman who was found in Juja, January 17th. We remember in 2023, June Cherop, a master's student. We remember Ivy Wangeshi, Moi University. We remember Eunice Wangeshi, who was thrown from the 12th floor in Nairobi. We remember Agnes Tirop. We remember Joyce Siombua. We remember Sharon Otieno. This list is not exhaustive by any means, but we wanted not to forget these names. And so right now, I want to also acknowledge that we have women from all walks of life. We have DCI represented, we have KEMRI represented, we have the Senate represented, we have the Parliament represented. We are glad to see Honorable Adelina Mwao, who's been on the fight to end gender-based violence, former DG of Makueni County. We have Nairobi County government represented. We have Machakos County represented. We have Kiambu County represented. And so I appreciate you. We have FIDA represented, Kovau, Usikimie represented. I might not say all of you, but consider yourselves as women leaders wherever you are. Karibu Waziri.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to say that it is on a sober note that we are gathered here today.
Maybe you have to move your chair.
Let them move the mic. It's easier to move the mic. Okay. Are we okay now? Why don't you move your mic the way you want them to? All right, you okay now? Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is on a sober note that we are gathered here today. Women and girls across all divide, all concerned about one thing, and that is the safety and well-being of our women and children. I speak today not only on behalf of the Women Rights Advisor to the President, but also as a woman, a mother, and a Kenyan equally struggling to understand how our society has allowed such a decay that does not hold human life sacred, and worse still, that looks at women as objects to abuse. I have seen comments from different quarters stating that our children, Starlet Wahu, Rita Waeni, and just yesterday a woman who was killed by her husband deserved to be killed. This and many other women and girls have suffered the fate of violence that we as a society have refused to address. My condolences and our condolences to the families that are in pain today. Let me reiterate that the government in its women's agenda explicitly committed to ending all forms of violence. This work cannot be done by one arm of government, neither one organization nor one person. It has to be a collective effort, neither one organization nor one person. It has to be a collective effort bringing together all of us as a nation, and you have seen the representation on this table. Hence, we are standing here today as women leaders from all walks of life to not only condemn the violence meted upon women and girls, but also have an intimate conversation on how we can all participate in stopping the vice within the society. It is therefore my commitment and our commitment that of the government to do all within our power, first to nab the suspects, but to also urge the judiciary to expedite cases of intimate partner violence. To that effect, I will continue to engage and work together with the judiciary to see how best we can ensure survivors are treated with dignity in courts and that the cases do not delay. We also have the DCI, who are the investigative arm of matters to do with criminality within this country. We have to have a collective effort together with also the office of the DPP in terms of prosecution. And you can see we need an all hands on deck to ensure that all these matters are brought to book and the perpetrators are actually dealt with. I also commit to working with my sisters in Parliament to push for stiffer penalties, as well as recognizing that intimate partner violence cases are acknowledged for their misogynistic nature. As the gender data champion in government, I have been discussing how to ensure that we have good frameworks to collect data. As we all know, data informs policy and better practices. The Office of the Women Rights Advisor has an open door policy for all matters women rights and children, and this is to let you know that we are here today to work together to form solutions that will last for the next generations to come. As I thank the media for according time and space to have this open engagement, it is important that we point out the key role the media plays in shaping societal norms. I therefore urge you to avoid victim blaming and victim shaming, because no one deserves to be killed under any circumstances. Yes. One fallen sister is one too many for the society. Yes. We urge religious leaders to use their platforms to speak positively about women and help the congregation understand that women's rights are also human rights, creating a positive environment for women and our children. The government is committed to ensure that the structures that respond and support survivors do not re-victimize them. Matters psychosocial support and safe spaces for women and children are a priority in my office and that of government. We will be doing county visits to engage with women and children, and I'm looking forward to hearing solutions from the communities that will form how the government responds to the women of this country. In conclusion, I reiterate, we witness other people's storms from the shelter of our own perspectives. Let's be mindful that we do not add the cold rain of judgment to their already soft spirits. Let us be sensitive to the families that have lost their loved ones. They need our love and compassion and not rebuke. By victimizing the dead, we are akin to dancing on the graves of women who have fallen victim to people they trusted. Let us put all our hands on deck from whatever we are to respond to these heinous crimes. Those who are planning to rape and kill our girls, we are putting you on notice. Your days are numbered. On the same note, we urge our daughters to exercise caution on how, with whom they interact with on social platforms. This is because GBV has now taken the form of technologically assisted or facilitated gender-based violence. I want to acknowledge the women rights defenders from every ward in the country, the women who have turned up today, and the young girls who have turned up today in solidarity with our fallen sisters and daughters. Women leaders who have come out in numbers at short notice. The women who are doing a lot to educate the public on matters women's rights and children, and assure you of my unrelenting quest to ensure that all women and children are safe. Be assured that this office is engaging different government agencies on your behalf. Together, we can make it happen. Asanteni sana. Allow me to allow Gladys Boss-Soleil to give her remarks as well.
First of all, I want to thank the President's Advisor on Women's Rights for this great initiative to put a voice, women's voice, on what has been happening in our country. As a mother and a leader, and as a Kenyan, my heart goes out to the families and friends of these victims. This loss is immeasurable, and their pain is our pain. While we mourn, we must also mobilize. These incidents are a stark reminder of the dark side of our technology and the urgent need for us to adapt our safety measures and legal frameworks into this evolving digital landscape. It is a call to action. The government, the law enforcement, and the tech community, and every user in social media. And some of the solutions that we suggest and we have agreed and have promised the President's Advisor on Women's Rights to deal with. And I'm happy that my colleague Senator Muma is here with me, because we shall be championing some changes within the laws in Parliament. One, we have to strengthen law enforcement capacities. We must empower our law enforcement agencies with the necessary resources and training to effectively combat this new form of digital crime. This includes investing in cybercrime units and enhancing our investment capacities. We also need to make changes in our legislation and policy. I will advocate for the speedy development and implementation of robust policies and laws that specifically address crimes originating from digital platforms. And I've had a new word today from Harriet Chagai, Honorable Harriet Chagai, which is said technology facilitated gender-based violence. Yes. So our legal systems must be equipped to deal with these new crimes that are perpetrated through technology. And thirdly, we also need to increase our public awareness. We need a national campaign to educate our citizens, especially our youth, about safe use of social media. Awareness is also our first line of defense, knowing the risks and how to navigate them crucially. Four, we also need to collaborate with technology companies. There must be concerted efforts to work with social media platforms and online service providers like Airbnb to enhance safety features and reporting mechanisms, because their cooperation is vital and it is important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Catherine Muma.
of the Kenya Women Parliamentary Association, KEWOPA. I'm also a member of Kenya Women Senators Association, KEWOSA. Just to thank the media for turning up for this very important presser, and to thank Waziri Chigai for thinking on this issue to bring us together. I would want also to send my sincere condolences to the families that have lost their daughters in this gruesome manner. And I would want just to add on what both Waziri and Madam Speaker have said, that when it comes to matters murder, nobody should celebrate. Nobody should even try to justify why another human being should die. And we want to ask that as you cover this issue, we request that you don't bring the line that tries to suggest that a murder could be justified in whatever case. That the country mourns in unison. We also want to ask those who are saying, and those of you who are on social media will affirm that every children are boys and girls. You'll get a person is missing, a child was going home and you'll find that somebody is missing. After a few days, they are found dead. We need to come together and condemn these acts instead of making them look like it's a competition between men and women. I would want to urge that the national government beefs up the national security at all levels. I want to urge that the county governments and national governments should cooperate on the issue of security. Security is a national government mandate, but I believe if we collaborate, we'll be able to deal with these issues. That we further investigate beyond the technology-facilitated crimes in the criminal justice system to ensure that they are alert and they are able to move with the times in order to protect the population of this country. The country addresses the issues of poverty so that we can reduce levels of vulnerability. Bringing around these murders. Walk in the same lane, walk in the same direction, that the Airbnb business be further regulated with this press statement, but we support every effort in government.
Director of Criminal Investigation, Madam Mutisia Mweni. She's in trafficking and child protection.
Okay. Does she need to come here? I think she does. Yes. I think she does. But we say that we need to reiterate our commitment to promote rule of law in consistency with international standards, national standards, regional and national standards, regional and national and international standards. So I'm supposed to been mentioned, and the DCI has been investigating these cases. Several years ago, they are before court. The cases are ongoing. I'll talk about the risk. The file is before the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. We were given 21 days. The investigations are ongoing. We've got crucial evidence. We have partnered with the government chemist. The government chemist is giving us very, very vital evidence that will be used to place this suspect on the scene of crime. And then the TRM case, the post-mortem is ongoing as we talk now. We've got crucial to get the person that committed the crime.
We also have crucial leads on the Omar Bay case. So we are hopeful that at the end of the day, we are going to present the perpetrators of these heinous crimes before court. And we want to ask the public if it is possible to assist us, get information, get us tips, because we cannot work all alone. We can only work with the support of the public. We want to say that we are happy that the government has really supported us a lot, because within the DCI we have the different special units, like we add the digital facilitated gender violence. We have a unit that is specifically dealing with online sexual exploitation and abuse. Then you find that we have the specialists that are dealing with the crime scene investigations. So in any case, if the public get to a crime scene, we would like to urge the public to not interfere in any way. We want the public to leave the crime scene as it is, because we want to get the DNA, and we do not want to get challenges of identifying who has been associated with the crime. So I conclude by saying that we are committed at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, and we condemn these heinous acts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lastly, we will have KEMRI, Director from KEMRI, Dr. Damaris Maweu. The reason why she's here is that most of the cases we've had is that the drinks for the girls are spiked, and then, they are violated, and then they are found dead. So I want her to share with us from that office what is going on, what can she tell the public around that particular, the way that violation comes in. Karibu sana Damaris.
Thank you so much. All protocols observed. I'm Dr. Damaris Maweu, a Director KEMRI, the Kenya Medical Research Institute, whereby we do research on the drugs, which has really contributed to this menace, whereby these people who are killing our girls, they are using drugs, whereby publicly the name is Mchele. Mchele, those are drugs which are dangerous drugs in the policies and in the Act of Pharmacy and Poisons Board, whereby they are called Dangerous Drug Act. And for that case, we are really working hand in hand with Pharmacy and Poisons Board as KEMRI as an institution, whereby it's supposed to put rampant measures to pharmacies, whereby they should not give out those drugs. They are called narcotic drugs. They are not supposed to be sold any out to the public, whereby when these people are really engaging into alcohol, chewing of mirrors, that's where they are really making these incidences so familiar. So it is sad that the young women are losing lives in this portion of intimate partner violence. Today I would like to base my argument on drug and substance abuse and use in escalating cases of intimate partner violence. Violence against women by intimate partners can occur for various reasons, and drug use can be one of the contributing factors. Substance abuse, including drug addiction, can lead to increased aggression, impaired judgment, and altered behavior, which may escalate the risk of violence within intimate relationships. However, it is important to note that not all individuals who use these drugs become violent towards their partners, and not all cases of violence against women involved in drug abuse. So drug use can affect individuals differently, and the relationship between substance abuse and violence is complex. While drugs can potentially increase the likelihood of violent behavior, it is crucial, therefore, to recognize that violence is as a result of multiple factors, including social, cultural, psychological, and individual characteristics. It is important to address both substance abuse and violence against women as separate issues, as they require different interventions. Substance abuse treatment programs should focus on helping individuals to overcome addiction and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Simultaneously, efforts and prevent and respond to this violence against women, which should include awareness, campaigns, education, legal protection, and support services for survivors. Overall, while drug use can be a contributing factor to violence against women, by intimate partners. It's essential to approach the issue holistically, considering the multiple factors involved and addressing both substance abuse and violence prevention. So we really urge the public and the social media, as my former, we also advocated for women with disability, whereby most of these men are really taking advantage of women with disabilities. So please, we urge the public to really create awareness, courtesy of our CS in that docket. I know she'll do marvelous things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Damaris. She'll be available if you want to interview around matters drug abuse. I don't think we should end before we hear from Honorable Denita Gatti around women with disabilities, and then I'll open the floor for questions, and then we can arrange for the media who want one-on-one, so we can plan that. And for now, I think we'll just move the mics for just 1 minute, Honorable Denita, and then I'll open the floor for a few questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and allow me to bring to this table and to members of the press.
I'll take 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, members of the press, Honorable Harriet Chigai, our lead here. I bring you felicitations from women with disabilities of this country, and we want to say that we are in solidarity and in support of what the Office of the Advisor to the President on women's rights in this country is doing. As you are all aware, these issues of femicide or men killing women is something that is huge in this country, and women with disabilities where they live are actually bearing the brunt. So we are in support of what the office is doing, and on behalf of women with disabilities in the country. You know, women with disabilities, when it is sexual and gender-based violence, it is usually never reported. Members of the press, we want to urge you, on behalf also of women with disabilities of this country, through Honorable Harriet's office, to really highlight country are going through. It is often the case that when it is issues to do with the women with disabilities, it is family that decide to settle out of court. And we want to ask Honorable Harriet that even as you move towards counties to listen to women, we will be there. We will be there in our full numbers as women with disabilities of this country to support you and to help you achieve what you have to achieve. We are also trying to say that here, on behalf of women with disabilities also, that we try and see how members of Parliament, Honorable Speaker here, can support and fund the office of the advisor on rights, so that we are able to actually bring these issues to the fore. The media, there is no murder that we can say is murder. The way media reports murder as intimate partner violence, as a crime of passion. There is no crime of passion. There is no passion in murder. So media has to also have a way in which you report issues of intimate partner violence, really, so that we are not sexualizing murder of women. So we stand in solidarity with you, Honorable Harriet Chigai, and your office, and we will be able to ensure to ensure that information provided also captures the intersectionality that is women and women with disabilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Spoken like a former journalist.
Yes,
the Honorable Deputy Speaker wants to say something.
Yes,
then
I think
I
I would be failing on my duty if I did not mention about the gender-based violence that exists in our athletics training camps, particularly in Iten, and Uasin County. Recently, we have lost Edith Mudhoni, who was killed. There is Damaris Mudhe, who was also killed. We know about previously, a few years back, Agnes Tirop, who was also killed. And these are the same things that the media is reporting, as Honorable Gatia said, that they're being called crimes of passion. But they are crimes. They don't make them any lesser crime because it's against women. And it has also happened to men. I know that we lost Benjamin Kiplagat recently, and also a few days ago we also lost Mr. Hosea, who is also a world champ, who was training at the INI-10. And I'm happy that Kemri is here, so that because some of the killings either has to do with the people, people known to them, and in other cases it has to do with the performance enhancement drugs, which is a big problem. But I'm happy to know that Kemri is going to set up office in Uasin County, and so that we can also begin to deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Waziri, you are aware we are about to go to a closed door meeting, so I'll allow only 3 questions. I know some of you have registered with Najma for interviews after this, so I just want 3 burning questions. Yani burning, lazima iban, and then we will respond to that one. And you say who you want to answer that question. So I've seen 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3.
Asante, naitwa Majibu Kisao kutoka runinga ya K24. Swali langu, kuna madai kwamba baadhi yanahusishwa na visa hivi vya dhuluma za kijinsia ni raia wa nchi za kigeni. Je, nyinyi kama viongozi wanawake, je, mnadhani kwamba hilo la kuondolewa kwa hitaji la visa linachangia pakubwa kwa visa kama hivi, na mnadhani kwamba kunafaa kuwa na mageuzi? Ningependa na Waziri Harriet Chigai.
Unataka ajibu kwa Kiswahili? Kiingereza ni sawa. So maybe we take those questions, Waziri, you can pick that, then we just respond and finish. Then the other question?
This is for Waziri. You've talked about, my name is Esther Akelo, I'm from BBC. You talked about collecting data. We know Polycare has been in place. Has it been used to be able to collect data specifically to femicide? And when you talked about putting frameworks in place, what exactly are you talking about? Are we going to see,
given the nature of her work on the ground, I wanted to know, is it that there has been a spike of incidences of femicide, or it goes, these are...
You ready?
So my request to the media, it's okay, Jerry can speak, she's my buddy, but I wanted the questions directed to the people who've spoken. If you want any clarity, yes. And then after this, you're free to interview anybody. Sawa sawa, that's why they're here. So any question from the panelists here. Thank you.
My name is Brian Amwai from Lookup TV. My question goes to Honorable Chigai. You said the government is actually committed in ending discussions among violence amongst women, but and you know, you went ahead to state some of the things that we're going to do in the long run, but we are waking up every day to a new case. So what will you do in the short run so that tomorrow we don't wake up to
in terms of dealing with this criminal menace is there. The Constitution provides for safety of all human beings. The right to life is a constitutional provision. We have the Penal Code, which comes in to penalize. The question then within the Penal Code, and the Deputy Speaker has clearly said Parliament will move to enhance and put proper regulations, amend laws which need to be amended. And one of these is the Penal Code, because despite the fact that the Penal Code prohibits all acts of violence, the question then is, have we defined GBV in the Penal Code? No, that is a gap. Battery, and we've made it normal. You hit a woman today, you hit a girl today, it is very normal. And now we have a hashtag called Fear Women. That hashtag is as bad as it sounds, and I encourage everybody to drop that hashtag, because we are demonizing the girl child. And these generations that we are trying to upbring and build, we actually make it normal for even the young girls to use the hashtag Fear Women. So let us look at ourselves, and that is why I'm saying the society is completely broken, and the answers are with us. We have the Children's Act, which has recently been amended. So the question then is, are we implementing the laws that are there? We also have the Criminal Procedure Code. We have the Sexual Offences Act. So what are these things within these statutes that we need amended? And there is the reason as to why we have Parliament with us, because when it comes to making laws, reviewing and amending laws, that is a prerequisite of Parliament. And that is why, as women leaders, we are saying we are going to walk the journey together. And all are actually adhered to. Polycare is just one of those, and Polycare really was to bring the law enforcement agency, especially the police, to understand the issues around gender. How do they deal with issues to do with GBV? And I think there's progress there, because from here we are moving towards now considering the training of police, the training of media, to now have the gender lens and to know how to deal with issues when women and children are brought to their forecourt, or even gender-based violence, which now we are seeing it's both men and women. One thing that we are not talking about is the high number of violation of young boys. You're not talking about it, but we are aware that now we have a very high number of young men who are being raped. Why we are having GBV in the country. And that is why, as the religious leaders, we're also saying the church needs to move in, so that we ask ourselves, do we have cultural practices that are hindering progress in this country? You go to the police, and the police tell you, ini mambo ya nyumbani. You've all heard about this. Ini mambo ya nyumbani. It says it doesn't go beyond our households. It is our uncles, it is our aunt, our workers. Say DCI is not doing their job. You cannot also say the police is not doing their job, because we are also frustrating some of the initiatives that they are putting in place. And we as the community at large, we are the eyes. These things are happening within our households. So it calls upon us as the community also to speak out and bring these things to the fore. So on the issue of what we want to do with data, collection of data also calls for wholesome participation. Are we able to analyze these things? Are we able to come out and do this work? And yes, we are going to partner with quite a number. There's KDHS, there's the Ministry of Health, there's the Ministry of Gender. So we are going to have an all-of-government approach in terms of how we want to deal with these issues. And private sector should also not be left away, because we have hospitals that deal with GBV. Women's Hospital has a whole department that deals with gender-based violence. And this is something that we need to scale up. This is something that I call upon of us to participate, because these are our children, these are our sisters, these are our mothers, because the other category of women that are being raped is actually the elderly. And we are not speaking about these issues. We also have the persons with disability, and we are looking the other way. So today, as women leaders, we are calling upon you all, including the male champions. And I'm really proud of the male champions who have come out strongly to actually participate in the call to action, to actually participate in highlighting the GBV, the various GBV that is happening within the society, and FGM is one of them. And we as women leaders, we are truly proud of the men who are actually standing with our girls, the men who are standing with our women, and we call upon all government agencies to work together. So that is why we are here today, and this is part of the solution. Us speaking out, us coming up collectively as leaders to say, let us hold our hands and deal with this issue together, because no one person can be able to deal with this. Thank you very much. The issue of visas. I mean, media, let us be honest with ourselves. Let us be knowledgeable. You know, let us speak when we have facts. Let us question things that we have researched, you know. When did we open visa application? It's barely 2 months, right? GBV did not start 2 months ago. Yeah. It's sad that these particular last cases have been attributed to a certain particular group of persons, and that is why we are calling upon the investigative agencies to speed up investigations and now give us proper data in dealing with this issue. If it's an issue, it will come out. If they don't have visa, we will know. But did they arrive in this country 1 month ago? I don't think so. So the criminal mind doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're young, old. It doesn't matter whether you're black. It doesn't matter. For as long as you are a criminal, you are a criminal. It doesn't matter where you come from. So this particular case has been attributed to a particular group. We would wish to know the numbers that are doing this. If it's a criminal racket, that's why DCI is here. DCI will give us their report after investigations. Also not speculate. Let's facts and facts only. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Waziri. Thank you. Thank you, women's rights defenders. Thank you, all of you. What I want to request is a photo with all the leaders here. We'll just move the table. And then for the media, Najma is going to coordinate with you in terms of the interviews you want to do.
So allow me to say thank you very much, guys, for your time. Asanteni sana. Okay.